think Inter Dominion is like the special race of the country in Australasia. You go to New Zealand, people say, to pull you up and say, gee, God, he was a New Zealand horse, you know, he was a New Zealand horse. I said, yeah, he was, but he was bred in New Zealand, he was owned in Adelaide, he raced in Melbourne, and so he was an all-rounder, yeah, no, Inter Dominion's that's the pinnacle.
Racing in the Inter Dominion. Soul Command eased back behind them, and Junction Road and Tan Heel trying to head them off. It's Junction Road and Tan Heel the leaders as they went to the judge the first time. 4 or 5 metres, Don't Retreat, and they're followed by Velvet Prince the outside. In the centre, Markovina, and then came behind them Soul Command on the rails of Moses Star. Paleface Adios is next, and they were...
That era, those 4 or 5 champions raced pretty regular. Pure Steel, Paleface Adios, Markovina, Don't Retreat, and being Moonee Valley, it was the first Inter Dominion to run here, and that was a novelty, and everyone was excited that they're running into here, you know. Wonderful complex, as you can see. Wonderful horses, great era. Trotting was extra good those days. It's good now, but those days it was talked about in the papers a lot. And yeah, no, it was a big lead up, yeah, big promotion for it. And it was successful.
And then 4 metres to Markovina, 4 metres away on the rails, Royal Gaze, a couple of metres to Soul Command, who's got well out of his ground early. Paleface Adios is last with De Monte Hanover on his inside. Coming down to the judge, 2 laps to go, that's 1,800 metres. Junction Road has slowed them up now to be a Socky's length in front of Velvet Prince and Don't Retreat over on the fence. Hermosa Star pulling hard on the rails, and ahead away Tan Heel, who's settled beautifully. Then Royal Gaze, on the outside of it is Markovina, and then Soul...
Well, the Inter's sort of been a race that have been endeavoured to try and go well in, and my father tried for many years to win it, ran a place or two, and my uncles and that, and I always thought, oh, it would be wonderful to have a run, let alone win it. So no, it was always something that you worked towards if you found one good enough, and he was Markovina. He won the first 2 nights, and then the last night he ran a real nice midfield, I think. Went to the line strong, quite happy with him, pulled up real well. He couldn't have come on any better during that last week. He was really hadn't missed a note, and he was full of himself, and we didn't want to kid ourselves, but we thought we had a real live chance. He loved coming from the back, and if he hit the front too early, he'd think the job was done and he'd pull up, you know. I mean, he would just slow right down. He'd chase all day and head them all off, and then he'd say, oh, I've done my job, and you can feel him just say, that's it, and you say, no, you got to keep going. He didn't understand that. I landed in a fairly nice spot, and the only worry was if they forced me out a bit early, it still would be all right, but as long as he didn't hit the front. Because he had that much brilliance, you had to hold that brilliance back. When he eased out down the back, he could have shot to the front, but I feel that he probably would have got run down. So on the home turn, I was still sitting against him. I looked around, and most of the drivers were hunting up and hooling, and I was still going steady boy, steady boy, steady boy. Even half up the straight, I was still trying to just keep him together, and then he surged to the front, and then I feel him slow down again, but he was, because he hadn't done a lot of work in the run, he was still capable of keep going, but he would have liked to switched off when he hit the lead, but I was lucky I didn't have to hit the front too early.
Markovina the leader into the straight with Junction Road, Velvet Prince. Out wide, Soul Command, Paleface Adios got badly checked. Markovina the leader with 50 metres to go. He's just in front of Velvet Prince. Soul Command, De Monte Hanover flying with Hermosa Star. Markovina in front of the line, and he's won it by a metre to Hermosa Star, Velvet Prince third. Just behind them, De Monte Hanover, Royal Gaze. Then came Soul Command.
But the race wasn't over yet. Hermosa Star's driver, Peter Norgard, has alleged interference from Markovina in the home straight.
Only when I come back to scale, I was a bit shocked, because he must have drifted out a bit near the line when he was thinking about pulling up, but he held him off by a good half a length and not under a lot of pressure doing it. But I was pretty sure, I'd be really shocked that he would lose it. You know, there wasn't any interference, not like there wasn't any contact whatsoever. I think the other horse probably had to be carted probably a cart wider than he wanted to, but he had a clear run. He was out there on his own. It wasn't a problem. And I remember going into into the steward's room for the result, and I just happened to look up at the panel, and one of the stewards winked at me. Thank God, I think that means I'm all right. And it was, yeah. Yeah, it was wonderful because my family was here, especially my dad and my wife, and that. And my brother Neville helped me with him, and no, we had a good staff looking after him, and I was travelling around everywhere those days. I think I was at Harold Park the night before with runners, and yeah, no, everyone was just buzzing around him and maintaining him so good, you know. He's a beautiful horse, a real lovely pony. Yeah. And I've still been trying to win it ever since then, and I've run a couple of seconds, so I know how hard it is to win. And the horses I drove were outstanding horses, you know. And yeah, when I passed the line and went up around there, I thought, oh, so I nearly couldn't sink in, you know. I thought, oh, I'm so relieved. And to think that he won it was the most wonderful thing, and I've still got very fond memories of it. I often think about him, that horse, pretty often.